even 5 or 6 months ago, Ayn Thor Lite wasn't that much of an interesting choice. At the time, for just a little more money, you could get a much more powerful version. But things changed. Prices went up, components got expensive, and now most of the Thor lineup sits way higher than before. And right in the middle of that, still at around $250, is the Ayn Thor Lite. So now the conversation is different. This budget model isn't just the cheaper option anymore, it makes more sense now. And today we're talking about why the Ayn Thor is still the best dual-screen handheld, and why this version in particular hits a very sweet spot. The biggest reason the Ayn Thor still stands out is its dual-screen design. For DS and 3DS games, it works perfectly. Both screens are properly sized and in the right position. And because it runs Android, the second screen turns into something you actually use all the time. You can keep a walkthrough open while playing, run a video in the background, or even manage apps without leaving your game. It's simple, but once you get used to it, going back to a single screen feels limiting. And that's why the dual screen design isn't just a feature here. It's the main reason many people pick the Thor over everything else. You still get the full dual screen experience on the Ayn Thor Lite. Now, yes, it isn't using the newest chip. It runs on the Snapdragon 865 chip with 8 GB RAM. On paper, that sounds behind something that uses a newer chip, like the Retroid Pocket 6, and if you only care about raw power, Retroid Pocket 6 may make more sense. But in actual use, the Thor Lite still handles a lot. GameCube and PS2 games run well for the most part, usually at around 2 times resolution. Some heavier emulation, like Switch games, may need small adjustments, but overall it's a smooth experience. For DS and 3DS, it's even better. You can push higher resolutions and still get stable performance. Where it starts to show limits is with heavier PC games or more demanding Switch titles. Lightweight games run fine, but once you go into bigger 3D titles, you'll start to hit that ceiling. The 8 GB RAM also plays a role here. For PC emulation, it can become a bottleneck. So yeah, it's not built for pushing the absolute limits. But Ayn Thor Lite doesn't have to compete with powerful handhelds. Most retro emulation hasn't really been held back by hardware lately. It's mostly the software side that still needs work. Snapdragon 865 is already strong enough for what most people need from a retro handheld. It can comfortably handle everything up to PS2 and GameCube, and even lighter Switch games run fine with the right setup. Going beyond that usually depends less on the chip and more on how good the emulator is. Windows game support on Android is still pretty experimental anyway, so even on more powerful devices fumbles with certain games. That's why the Ayn Thor Lite is more than enough for its use case. Besides that, the dual screen design is still the best thing about any Ayn Thor model. It is its main selling point. And nothing else really comes close right now if you want this kind of experience done properly. Other devices either skip it completely or don't implement it well. The Thor keeps it simple and gets it right. And that's why it's the only solid choice if dual screen gaming is what you're after.